If it sounds a bit echoey, that's because I'm in my new workshop. I've been working on my old school workbench that a lot of years, if you're on about 30 to 50 years of age, you probably used one of these at school. So when it's done and I've refurbished it, I'll let you look at it and it'll bring back some memories. And this was purchased from an auction with 2 record vices on it, and it cost me £40. Heavy as hell, let's say. But the guy who I took with me, he wasn't very happy when he had to lift it all the way to the van with me, and we had to drive home with the back of the van doors open just to get home with it. Anyway guys, you want to go to an auction and be really confident when you go to an auction. And to be confident when you're at an auction, you need to do a bit of research. Now, most auctions will have an online site where you can download a catalogue, and you want to download that catalogue. But in some catalogues, it'll say things like stock fencing, because at auctions, no matter what auction you go to, like there's auctions close to me, there's one at Thurs, there's one at York, and it might just say stock fencing, and you might want stock fencing, but you turn up, you might want 3-foot stock fencing, and it's 6-foot stock fencing. Now, that's the problem. So it just says stock fencing, but sometimes, like I wanted 6-foot stock fencing, I turned up, there was 20 rolls of it, and I bought about 7 or 8 rolls of it, and I got it for £220. When I checked it out, when I got back home, it was about £1,500 worth of stock fencing, so I got a good deal when I paid £200 for it. Local auctions, you'll always find that you can go the day before and check out the tools, and when you're checking out the tools, you should actually be checking to see if the tool works. Now, a lot of people will put tools in that don't work, and on the tools that they'll have tested, like you'll think, oh, that works, but that's just a test that they do. Like, it doesn't give you electric shock. It doesn't mean that the tool works. So if it's an electrical tool, plug it in. Just ask the auctioneer, can you plug it in and test it? And if it's a petrol tool, always give the cord a pull, and if you can start it, just start it. I do, I just start them up. I don't care who's there and how loud it is, I just pull it and start it up. But if you can get a pull on it and it's not seized up, you can probably get it working, even if it doesn't start there and then at the auction. It might cost you a couple of quid to get fixed, but if it doesn't start, you're probably going to get it at a cheap price. Now, another thing I would always advise when you go into an auction, especially when you're new to auctions, is don't bid with this. Don't bid with your heart, bid with your head. Like, make sure you've got a price set that you want to pay for that item. So you say, looking at some stock fencing, and you're saying, right, I'm going to pay £100 for that. But you're up against somebody who wants it also. So now you're getting a little bit excited, and you just fly past your £100 limit because you're bidding with this, and you're thinking, I don't want him to beat me. Well, I've been to auctions where the auctioneer had to actually tell people that to stop bidding because they were bidding past the retail price of some of the actual items, because you'll get newbies who go to auctions and they'll just bid like extremely high prices when you're going to an auction for a good deal. And you'll hear this from all the old people in the crowd, that your new people are bidding too high, because all the people who've been going to the auction for a long time, you'll hear them all whinging in the crowd saying that's too expensive and everything, because there's a lot of new people there. So if an auction does a really good job of marketing the auction, then you can end up going to the auction and everything's so expensive because people who are building their own houses and things like that, there's lots of materials there for that, like kingspan sheets, you name it, drainage, everything can be at these auctions. And that's what you want to be going to, like small tool auctions and material auctions, because you will get good deals at them. Like, I've had loads of good deals from auctions, but always bid with your brain and not your heart, because you could end up paying way past the price that you should be paying. And another thing I would always suggest is don't be put off by people who are used to going to auctions, because they will try and intimidate you. Some big people go to auctions, and I'm not going to say that I don't do the same, because I do. Like, when I'm looking at something, I'm more or less saying, I want that. And if I'm bidding on something, I've set my price, I will literally just put my hand up and leave my hand up so that the other person knows that I ain't going to back down, and when I'm keeping my hand up, but I won't go past my actual set price. Now, sometimes I do, but only by about £20, and it depends what type of items I'm bidding on. But I always keep my hand up so the other person who's bidding against me thinks this guy isn't going to give up. Now, that's a good way to actually say to the other people in the auction, I want that item and I'm not going to give up. But other things that you'll see at an auction and you'll think, what's going on here? You'll see the auctioneer looking around and taking bids, but you can't see anyone else bidding on any items. That's because he's taking bids off the wall. That's what you call it. Bids off the wall means that he's literally just taking bids that off nobody, because he's raising the price of the item, because he's trying to get somebody to actually bid on the item. So he's just going 25, 35, 45, 55, but technically nobody's actually bidding until somebody actually bids, because when you're at an auction, you don't want to be bidding as soon as the auctioneer says the price, because an auctioneer, let's say there's something worth £500, he's going to start that price off at around about £500, so you don't want to be sticking your hand up straight away saying I'll pay £500 for it. What you want to be doing is waiting until he takes the price all the way down, and he will go all the way down to £20 or something like that, and that's when you might stick your hand up, or someone else will stick their hand up. And if someone else sticks their hand up, let the bids go up themselves, just let them go up, and then when you get to the price where you think, right, I'm willing to step in here and bid, you put your bid in when the bidding slows down. So some people will drop out, and then if it's still below the price that you want to pay for the item, then you step in and put your hand up, or put your auction catalogue number up and step in and bid. And don't, like I say, don't just bid straight away. Wait till you see what it's going for, because it might fly straight past what you're willing to pay for an item. And other things that you want to look out for, and that's buyer beware, because you could buy some at an auction and it might be a nice tool that you think, and that looks really well and that's got to work. Well, there's a lot of people that put tools in auctions and they don't work whatsoever, and they have the tested stamp on there, but that's only a tested stamp that the auctioneers have to put on there and test all the items, so it doesn't give you an electric shock. That's all it is. It doesn't mean to say that the item's working. So always plug the item in and check it to see if it works. Now, to do this, you want to get to an auction early, and if possible, go the day before. If it's a local auction, always go the day before and check out the items that are for sale, and take a pen and a piece of paper with you so you can write down what you're looking at, what condition it is, and what you're willing to pay for the item. And also do your research. I mean, everybody has a phone that they can Google something on nowadays. They've all got smartphones. Well, the majority of people have smartphones, and that's what you want to be doing. You want to be doing your research on the items you're going to have a go at. So make sure you're looking at eBay and things like that, that the items you're looking at, you can't just buy on eBay for the same price, because what's the point in buying that item there when if you buy that item, if it doesn't work, then you've got no recall to take it back, because you're just buying it from the auction and you should have checked it out at the auction. But if you buy it off eBay for the same price that you went for the, like say, got sold at the auction for, and then say it's working on eBay, then you've got some recourse to actually get your money back off eBay. So always do your research on the actual items and the lot numbers that you're going to be bidding on. And don't be scared of regulars, because regulars will stare at you and try and scare you and stop you from bidding. And to be truthful, that's something that I would do. I'm literally not the type of person that will back down from bidding at an auction. I will look at people and probably intimidate them. Now that might make me sound bad, but I'm not one of them people that wants everything at the auction. I just might want certain things, and I'm not going to bid on absolutely everything. But if I want it, then I'm going to bid on it. And if I'm up against somebody, don't get me wrong here, I'm not going to stare at a little old guy or something like that, even though that little old guy might be staring at you as if to say, what you bidding for? Stop bidding now, so they can get it, because this happens at auctions, and when you become a regular at auctions, you start to see who the other regulars are, and you'll understand what they're willing to pay. And if somebody is there, you get some guys who literally go to an auction and they'll buy up everything, because they go to buy it and sell it, so they know what it's worth. And that's why you want to try and talk to people at auctions if you can. Like, I've done double deals with people at auctions, so I've said to them, listen, are you after that? Well, I'm after these things that are in that lot. How about we split the lot together, and then you have that bit and I have that bit? So that's what you can do. You can join forces with somebody else at the auction. You might not know them, but you'll get to know them once you've been going to the auction for a while. And like I say, always beware of what you're buying. Always check it, and always make sure of the actual fees that you're going to be paying, because if you're paying £1,000 for something and it's got VAT on it, and it's got that buyer's premium of 15%, and then it has the VAT on the actual buyer's premium, you can end up paying like £1,380 for something that you might have thought it cost you £1,000. So you need to look out for things like that. Other things you want to be looking out for is, are you going to be able to remove that item? Because sometimes you get excited and you think, oh, that's going really cheap. But if you haven't got the means to get it away, then you might have to pay somebody to actually pick it up for you and then take it home, and that costs money as well. And I would always advise taking a friend with you to the auction, and if you've got a van or a trailer, make sure you take that to the auction and remove the items on that day, because if you leave them at an auction, they'll give you around about 24 hours to 3 days maximum, but after that you will be getting charged storage fees. So always try and remove it on that day. And another reason you want to remove it on that day is because sometimes people just take things that belong to you, and some auctions don't have cameras, some do have cameras, but people will steal your lots if they can. That's just life. There's people who steal things all the time, so you want to watch out for that sort of thing. So make sure you've got a friend so they can help you lift stuff. Now, me, when I do go to the auctions, I've been hundreds of times, so I'm not scared to ask other people if they can help me lift something heavy in the back of a van. And if you're not like that, and you're not the type of person who will be cheeky enough to ask somebody to help you lift something in the van, then you could be stuck trying to get something into your van. If you've got a van, you might have a car and you've purchased something that doesn't fit in the car, so you always want to make sure that you've got the means to move the item away from the actual auction. Now, when you're looking at something to actually buy, just look around and see who else is interested in it, and don't look too over enthusiastic about the actual item. So don't be looking at someone going, wow, and I'm going to be having this and that, because there's other people there who are actually selling that item, and they might have somebody who is listening to you actually thinking, oh, well, you bid them up. So there's people there, sellers, who've got friends, and they'll tell that friend to bid you up because they know you're really interested in that item. So just have a look at the item, but be cool when you're doing it. Just check it over, have a look at it, see if it works, and then just pull a face like that, and then walk away from it. And then when it actually comes up, then start bidding, but don't be getting excited going, oh yeah, look at this, oh, I want this, and that sort of thing, because people will run the price up on you. So just watch out for that as well. There's lots of other things you want to be watching out for at auctions, honestly, and there's lots of dirty tricks that go on at auctions as well. Like, you might go to an auction and there might be 5, well, these workbenches, there was 5 of these workbenches. So the first person who wins the bid on these like workbench, what they'll do is they'll bid up for who's going to pay the most for the workbench, and then they'll say to the guy, how many of them do you want? So the guy might have said £40, well, it was £40 in this case, and he went, I'll have number 1, number 4, number 5, like that. So I had to just take the one that I wanted, when really the one that I really wanted, the guy took. So I had to just settle for this one, but I'm really happy with it. And for £40, you couldn't get a Vice for £40, but that happens. So if they're bidding on something and it could be 5 items, and then you think to yourself, why did you bid all the way up and you only took 1 item? Because the auctioneer won't start off them items again if they were all in one lot. He'll just go, right, bid on the item, people will bid up as far as they want to go, and then he'll go, how many do you want? And if they say 1 and there's 5 of them and nobody else wants to pay that amount of money for the other 4, then the auctioneer won't sell them, they'll go for the next auction. So you want to watch out for that sort of thing as well. And some people do bid really hard because they're new to the auction scene, and once you get used to it, you'll really enjoy it because it is good fun. Also, don't be afraid to bid. Now, some people just get intimidated because you're in a crowd. Now, at the moment, obviously, with COVID and that going on, they're not as crowded as they used to be. But auctions still are going on. They won't be at the moment because I think we're on lockdown, but they're still going on and just spread further apart. But don't be afraid to actually bid. Just wait for the bid to get to a price where it starts slowing down, because at first the auctioneer will be like 10, 15, 20, 25, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, and then all of a sudden he'll go 65, anybody else, and then if you're willing to pay £75, then place your bid, and then just let it slow down, if you get what I'm saying. And don't be afraid, because if you're a little bit timid, then you're not going to win any of the auctions. You're not even going to bid because it'll drive you a bit crazy. Another thing I would always say is, when you go to an auction, try and take cash with you or pay by banker's draft, because if you pay by credit card, you'll pay more money for the actual items. They take like a 3% for paying by credit card. They take 3% extra for the lot, so you've already paid the prize premium, and if it's got VAT on it. And when it's a business auction, like an auction going out of business, you're always going to pay VAT on it anyway. The guinea fowl will go mental, so if you can hit them, well, that's because they go mental. But yeah, guys, when you go into auctions, always check out local auctions first. Now, I drive about an hour and a half maximum to get to auctions, and that's for pure beef poultry because there's none around me. But there's auctions that you want to check out local to you, and it could be a tool auction, but that tool auction won't just sell tools, it'll sell materials as well. So if you can go online, and they've got them all online, like there's local auctions to me, it's really expensive actually, but the regulars are there and they have materials there, but you get some really good deals. I've had £8,000 worth of these Hilti bits and bobs, and I think I paid about £40 for them. So some people don't even know what things are worth, so that's why you need to do your research. And I've had loads of good deals at auction, so make sure that you can always check local, but always look to see how far you can drive as well, because sometimes there's some good auctions a good distance away. So, and like I say, and I've just said earlier on, just look at everything, do your research, don't get excited, don't be intimidated by other buyers. You know, make sure you take someone with you so you can actually lift the items into the car or your vehicle if you're not going to be willing to ask somebody, which other people will help you, but some people won't help you. Some people are just lazy, and you'll see some people literally trying to bully you out of buying an item. They'll stare at you, like proper stare at you, like they want to have a fight with you. That's what some of them are like, and some of them can be aggressive. And me, I'm just a 6'1" guy, and I'm pretty big anyway, so I'm not really intimidated. If anything, I intimidate them, but I'm not really going to do anything. I'm just trying to get the item for a cheap price. Does that make me look bad? Well, I don't know. What do you think? I probably do. Now guys, there's another thing I want to tell you, and that is, if I don't upload a video for, let's say, a week or something like that, then that's probably because I'm suffering from depression, because I suffer from depression, like debilitating depression, so I can't get out of bed and that sort of thing. But I have to get out of bed, obviously, to feed the animals, but I can't be bothered to do videos and things like that. That's just the way it is. So I suffer from depression. I have nobody to talk to. People always say, oh, you've got me to talk to and that, but You stood there saying you're feeling bad and you're feeling down, but they're not even talking to you, but they say, you've got me to talk to. So I'd always say, if you know someone who's got depression, just talk to them and help them out. Now, I'm not asking for any help from anybody, you know, it is what it is. We all suffer from our own little things in life, but anyway guys, that's my tips on when you go to auctions, whether it be a farming auction or a tool auction or a stock auction. Just make sure that you're bidding with this and not with this. Make sure you do your research and all the other things, and before you know it, you'll have lots of good deals and you'll do really well. Anyway guys, my name's Craig, you've been watching A Small Farmer Life. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell button, because we've got the workshop up and running now. Well, we've got it built, should I say, and we're going to have it up and running in no time. And I've got loads of tools to put in here because I've bought them all from auctions, and we've got lots of other things. And we're going to show you guys what you can build for your farm and how much it'll cost to actually build them. So anyway guys, my name's Craig, you've been watching A Small Farmer Life. If you want to subscribe, it's your choice. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to be notified of all them other videos, then hit the bell button. And most of all, take care of yourself and take care of the family. Bye for now. See you.